Hello there, I am Gifty Auntie and welcome to TSP with Gifty Auntie.
Who can deny Gifty?
No.
I don't think anyone shall. Thank you for having me.
The greatest amongst us is the one who seeks to reproduce more of herself to ensure that they also become achievers. I am Gifty Auntie. Welcome to TSP with me. My guest today is an amazing, phenomenal woman of many firsts. She's achieved so much, but she's still not giving up. I don't know what she wants to do, but I mean, I am in awe of her. I admire her. I look up to her, and it gladdens my heart that today we get to capture her untold story. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the phenomenal Professor Mrs. Goski Alabi. Good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you
so much for agreeing to be a part of today.
It's an honor for me.
Aww.
Thank you. And you look awesome.
You look stunning. Please take your seat. I'll be back. Welcome back to TSP with a Gifty Auntie. And yesterday I'm so excited. But see, so excited I forgot to give credit to my, vendors and supporters. My tie and dye is by Tie Dye Yakoa. Thank you so much. And my beautiful outfit is by Discerning House of Fashion. Thank you so much to her. My beads, by Twinny Craft. And then, of course, my hair by Insula GH, the one and only. And then my makeup by Glow Bar. Thank you so much to them. Now, let me go straight to my notes to say thank you to our sponsors. Now, we are sponsored by Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan. The new order of retirement is here. Now, you can retire on your own terms with guaranteed monthly income for the rest of your life. Yes, the rest of your life. Simply invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan today and start receiving monthly income to enjoy the perfect retirement. It's that easy. The best part is you get to enjoy added benefits of an annual increase every year. Call Old Mutual today on 050-453-4333, 050-453-4333, or visit www.oldmutual.com or simply dial *789*01# to request a call. Obrapa Ahunto Enkwa. Now, Vena Mineral Water. Vena Mineral Water has the balanced pH level. It has all the right quantities of minerals and qualities of minerals, and it's also low in sodium, and they believe in embarking on charitable projects to change lives and to touch, lives as well. So we are grateful to them, and they also produce bigger drinks, very low on sugar, and it's the best drink on the market, to get for your family. My guest today, if you missed, is the amazing Professor Goski Alabi, who is the chair for African Network for Internationalization of Education and consulting president of Lawe University College. Madam,
Yes.
It's an honor to have you in the studio.
It's a privilege.
Finally. You look amazing, as I said.
You too. You look awesome.
Please, don't you get tired of learning? What was your dream growing up?
Interesting. So, when I was about 9 years old, my father gave me a newspaper, I think, article on Margaret Thatcher.
Okay.
And I read in that paper that she did chemistry and she did law. And so I just wanted to be like Margaret Thatcher. I wanted to do chemistry and I wanted to do law.
So you did chemistry?
I did.
And you did law?
I wrote the law entrance examination. I passed it very well, as I was told. I was called for the interview. And then they asked me one question. They said, "How are you related to Joshua Alabi?" And then I smiled and said, "That's my husband." So they said, "Oh, that's very good. You did very well in the examination and all of that." So I really looked forward to entering the law school. And when I got back and told him about my experience, he said, "Forget it. If they asked you that question, 9 out of 10, you aren't going to enter the law school." Well, he was proven right. For one reason or the other, I don't know.
They never called you?
They never called me. But I think that we all have our destinies and our calling in life. And sometimes we dream of our own path in life, but nature redirects our path.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy that I allowed nature to direct my path.
But hey, here you are, a
Really?
professor in your own right. You know, I'm proud. But tell me, was it a UPSA connection?
Well, I don't think so, because I was working at the Food and Drugs Board.
Okay.
And I was traveling a lot.
Okay.
I recall my first time I had to travel was because some WHO team leaders had come to Ghana and met me at a workshop.
Okay.
I was then responsible for baby foods at the Food and Drugs Board.
Okay.
And so responsible for breastfeeding. And you know,
That's where, you know, I'm an ambassador, one of the ambassadors
oh,
for exclusive,
wow.
promoting exclusive breastfeeding.
So I was responsible for breastfeeding as well. And that took me to that workshop.
Okay.
After the workshop, the people told me they would want to invite me to the Gambia. So they did. And at that place, some people from Geneva met me. And they said to me, "Well, young lady, you're too good to be kept under wraps. You need to come to the World Health Assembly and speak for Africa."
Whoa.
And I thought that was a joke. But in a few months' time, they wrote to the ministry and wrote to my boss then, blessed memory Ajaku,
Right.
at the Food and Drugs Board. And then they invited me, paid for everything. I needed to come as a national delegate and speak on specific issues for Africa.
Wow.
So I did. And that was for me, the beginning of my exposure, my career exposure to the international community. And so
You have to take a lot of confidence and boldness to really take on that
Yes.
job, to do that.
yes,
Have you always been a confident, person growing up,
well,
bold?
I think so, because my father and my grandfather made me feel that I'm special.
Great.
They always told me how special I was. And I remember my grandfather, if somebody comes to speak English to him, he would say, "Hold on a second. I'm going to call my granddaughter and she'll come speak English."
I also have some in my house.
I also have some. And I was little. But I think those little things made me feel that people expected so much of me. And so I probably lived up to it. Right. But I think the second most important thing that built my confidence early enough was church. My grandparents and my whole maternal family were Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay.
So I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
And we are normally given speaking assignments,
Okay.
no matter how young you are. So you have to sit before the whole congregation and kind of simulate the situation that they would give to you. And when you are done with the assignment, before the whole congregation, they will tell you the strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
So the next time you can improve upon it.
Wow.
I noted that, young as I was, anytime they announced that I had an assignment, the congregation was full up.
Ooh.
Yes. So
So they love to listen to you.
Yes, they loved to listen to me, I guess.
Wow.
So I think that was my training grounds.
Wow. Now you've gone into academics.
Yes.
You are really highly rated in the global, Council of Academicians.
Yes.
How did you move in there?
Okay, so I think somewhere in 2004, my husband was leading a team to introduce the academic programs to UPSA.
Right.
And when he brings his work home, sometimes I support him to type and all of that. So I helped him in putting together the program. So when we finished, I asked him, but why is it that all the courses are business related? Won't you add some liberal courses? And he asked me, like what? So I said, like environmental management, like quality management. So he said, okay, design it for us. So I did those two. And then he presented it, and the then director, J.J. Marty, Reverend J.J. Marty, invited me to come and speak to it. So I went, had a meeting with them, spoke to it, and explained why. And they accepted it. And when it went for accreditation, those ones that I had done were rated very well.
Whoa.
This was at a time when I had no plan of moving into academia. I mean, you can imagine that I was traveling so much when I was in food and drugs. But I mean, there were days that I would get back and my family would just have to meet me at the airport with a new suitcase, and then
you're gone.
I'm gone. I change and I'm gone. So I never wanted to leave my job, honestly. But then when it got to the time they were looking for people to teach, quality management is an area that we didn't have much expertise in the country. And so they weren't getting anyone. My husband asked me to apply. I refused. Then he wrote the application and said, sign.
You made me put this and now you are running away. My friend,
So I mean, I thought it was a joke. Okay, that's what is going to bring peace. I signed and we submitted the application. I was invited, I remember, in 2005.
2005, yeah.
On my birthday, 28th of April, to come for an interview. I was on a project in the Volta region, a UNICEF project. So at dawn, I left by 4:30, drove to Accra and attended the interview. It was an 1.5-hour long interview. And they said to me, but you don't have any background in business. So even though you sound impressive, we don't think you can teach here. That was what moved me. And I remember I said to them, I said, it's one thing seeing an opportunity and another thing taking advantage of it. I have seen an opportunity and I want to take advantage of it. If you give me the chance, I will try to prove myself. But if I'm not able, there is always probation. Do not confirm my appointment. I remember Mr. Aban. He moved a little in his chair.
Just as I've moved. Just as I've moved.
He looked in my face and said to me, you're very bold. We're going to give you the chance. Yeah. So they did. And I went in there with one goal. As I moved out of that gate, I looked at the environment and I asked myself, why has my husband been here all his life? There were many things playing in my mind. The second thing I said to myself is, if I have to be here, this university will change. It should, but it will change. I said that to myself. And when it does, somebody must tell the story. Right. So I started taking pictures of the university from the day I entered. And I've written a book on the history and the transformation of the university. Wow. Interviewed all the people that I needed to interview. And very soon the book will come out. I mean, I had the pictures.
Amazing.
Yes. Every year I would go to the council and do a presentation to them. And no one in the university, until I entered, had that kind of compilation, because I was moved by conviction.
Wow.
Yes. So in UPSA, I started first.
Hold a minute. That's Prof. Alabi know the kind of woman he is married to. Does he know the how powerful the kind of woman he's married? Wow.
Yes. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah. So I became the first chairperson of the Strategic Planning Committee for the university. And then I led the second strategic planning horizon for the university. So right from 2007 up until 2016, I chaired the Strategic Planning Committee of the university.
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years, yes. And the interesting thing is that I proposed the change of name of the university from IPS to UPSA. And when I first submitted,
wow, this is capturing untold stories of women.
yes,
You proposed it.
I did. I mean, it's on record, everybody knows in the school. I mean, when I submitted the proposal to the academic board, a lot of them fought it, because many of them are old students of the IPS, including my husband. They arrowed it down.
Your husband didn't agree.
No, I didn't agree.
No, your husband didn't agree. He's one of those who
He
didn't
was
want
against,
to change.
yes,
He was against
he
it.
was against it, you know. So I was so hurt. But anyway, that's academic board.
Academic board. I can imagine. When you go home, what did you tell him?
Oh, we had a lot of arguments.
Let's go back to this story.
So after about a month or two, when we had the next academic board, I represented it. By this time, there's been a lot of discussions, you know, positions were moving and all of that. Okay, eventually it was accepted. I'm not a lawyer, but I did the first draft of the law that would change the name of the university before it was handed over to Mr. Adagawini, who was then heading the law, something for him to also go through with his team of lawyers. But I did the first draft for the school. You know, these things don't come easy. It takes a lot of work. And so working with the key stakeholders and all of that, Prof. Josh made sure he now owned it and led the process.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
So that was how the change of name of the university
This is
happened.
amazing. I mean, it just dives into what, you know, I told you about women empowerment, the need for women to step up boldly, regardless.
Regardless.
boldly and take up position, challenge.
Yeah.
But, we lack that most of the time.
We lack it because I feel sometimes a lot of us are afraid. Afraid of failure, afraid of name calling. But you see, that is where I tell women, yes, people can say things about you. But when I was growing, there was a cholole that had written behind it, put on me, but never shall be.
Put on me, but never shall be. Wake for no, sheba me.
So I think that insults do not kill. They should not kill.
Should not kill.
It is how you respond to insults. And I've always said that it has been said that no one should ever make you feel inferior without your permission. They can never make you feel inferior without
Repeat
your
that.
No one can make you feel inferior without your permission. You need to grant people the permission for them to trample all over you. One thing that I know is that we are unique. Dear Gifty, dear dog, we are so unique. Your life as Ohinejere, Gifty, auntie, can never be repeated. Never can it be replicated. People can do what you are doing, but they will never ever be Gifty auntie. And so is it for me. Whether I'm tall, short, kinky hair, light skin, not, whatever it is, I am Goski Alabi. No one can ever be me. My life can never be replicated. Never can it be repeated. And so I step out as Goski Botioko.
Can I hug you? Can I hug you? Oh my God. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow. I told you June is going to be different on TSP with Gifty Auntie. Wow, that's amazing. Let me take a break and drink some water. And I know you'll be annoyed by now because you want to hear. Don't worry, I'll be back shortly. But let me say thank you to Al Cuisine for supporting us, Mrs. Sofori Poco and the family. We are grateful. Thank you to Juice Time, from the farm to the factory to the bottle to the shelf. They do it all, so you can trust the brand. Thank you once again to Yacht Cleaning Services, who make sure our environment is clean all the time, and E-Gardens, who gave us our beautiful plant. That's a place of healing. They are at the butchery. Thank you to all our supporters. We'll be back. Welcome back to TSP with Gifty Auntie. Amazing story. We are truly capturing the untold story of Professor Goski Alabi, a woman of many firsts, a bold, confident woman. Wow, I am really inspired. I've heard her speak a few times and read a bit about her, but nothing like what I'm hearing today. It takes a lot of boldness and confidence and determination and self-belief and worth to do this. Wow. Well, let me say thank you to my sponsors. Let me wear my spectacles to read properly. That's Old Mutual. Now, Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan is here. Now you can retire on your own terms with a guaranteed monthly income for the rest of your life. Yes, the rest of your life. Simply invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan today and start receiving monthly income, the alert, to enjoy the perfect retirement. It's that easy. The best part is you get to enjoy added benefits of an annual increase every year. Call Old Mutual on 050-453-4333 or visit www.oldmutual.com or simply dial *789 *01# to request a call. Obrapa, ahoto enkwa. And then let me add this, that the plan is for people 50 years and above. But if you're below 50, you can also do it for your parents, for your relatives, your loved ones, so that, that thing of that practice of sending them money every day is off your shoulder, because every month they are going to get some, retirement salary thanks to you. And it's a beautiful plan. And if you sign on and within 20 to 25 years thereabout, God forbid something happens, so your next of kin gets to it. It's an amazing plan. So call them today and enjoy. And on that note, Prof, from Old Mutual, we say this is a welcome package. Let me take my umbrella. It's a rainy season as well. We have an umbrella for you. This is it. And I'll love it if you get to, I'll get the team to talk to you about it for you to have an idea about it too. If you want to sign on, this is for you. Thank you.
Yes,
Let me keep it here for you. Are welcome. You're welcome.
We
also like to say thank you to Yakwa Tie-Dye for my tie and dye fabric. Thank you to my designer, Delane, House of Fashion. They made this beautiful skirt and top for me. Thank you. And of course, my makeup by The Global, hair by Ishilo GH, and then of course beads by Twinny Craft. My sponsor, forgive me, okay, my supporters, I'm rushing through because we need to hear from this amazing woman once again. And thank you to Mrs. Soforipoko and the family. We are really, really grateful to you. Now, Prof, so the UPSA story came into fruition. How did you feel, knowing that something you fought for, something you had to even fight your husband?
Yes.
Now it has come to fruition. It's come to be accepted. And you sit down, because he was the head, you're like, he's taking the fight. Yes, you take it. You take it. But how did knowing, everybody knows the role you've played in it, but how did you feel knowing that you've succeeded?
Well, I think that I felt fulfilled, but also quite humbled. Like I said, it's like you fight for something so much, and then it comes, and you look at it and you're like, it's just a deep breath.
Yeah.
We made it.
You made it.
That was the feeling. It was very nice for everyone in the university. I recall when we celebrated it with our own Otumfuo being awarded, the doctorate, and Honorable Kandapa and the then Speaker of Parliament. When I looked at the colorful ceremony, it was just humbling to think that, so we made it.
We made it. We made it.
Yes.
We made it. So the UPSA story ended and you moved on to start the first open university in Ghana.
Yes. And the second in West Africa.
Yes. Wow. What led to that? What's the story of that?
So, working at UPSA, I became the founding dean of the graduate school of UPSA.
The founding dean?
The founding dean. So, at a point in time when we were going to start.
And I'm glad we are telling these stories, because somebody will say, because her husband was there. No, but you hear the story. This is a woman who worked, to get there. Yeah. Wow. So the founding dean of the
graduate school of UPSA. Now, to start our programs, we had a collaboration with Duquesne University. we introduced the leadership program. It was an MPhil, a Master of Philosophy, and a Master of Science program in UPSA. And that was the first Master of Philosophy program we ever introduced in UPSA.
Okay.
So I went to meet with the authorities of Duquesne University, and they agreed that we would have a partnership.
Okay.
Now, in this partnership, we were going to teach online. We would do blended.
Right.
Students would come normal,
Right.
but part of the lectures would be taught by the American university.
Okay.
So that was going to be done virtually. And for that reason, they had to train us, myself and my team,
Right.
in online teaching and learning. So when we have learned that and we have started it in the university, I felt that this is going to be the future of education. And fortunately, at that time, I was part of a national task force that was working with the Open University of UK to help government establish an open university in Ghana. Mind you, this had started way during ex-president Kufuor's time. And there was a whole national committee, but it couldn't come to fruition. Then President Atamils of blessed memory continued. It also didn't come to fruition. So at this point, working with the same Open University of UK as consultants, I one day told them that I think we should have a PPP, a private-public partnership approach. They looked at me and laughed and said, Goski, we know you're good. You know you can do quite a number of things, but this is a different ball game. It is huge investment. I mean, they gave me all the reasons why that was not going to be possible. I thought it to be possible. So I got back home and discussed the idea with my husband, and we said together, why not?
Why not?
If you can, go ahead and let's start it. So we started this in 2010, 2011, thereabout. And then we worked through the whole process until we got the accreditation in 2015, September of 2015. But I must say that because there was none in the university, even the accreditation board at that time needed to now learn more about it, you know. I was very, very certain that that was going to be the future of education. I mean, the future of education was going to move from the regular brick and mortar, from the artificial environment that had been created for education, where people needed to move from the natural environment, where natural things happen, sit in a confinement called a classroom and study and be judged by a standard assessment, which I do not believe in. I mean, I have said on global platforms that we've gotten to a stage in education where examination, as we practice it today, should be abolished.
Wow.
Because in the real world, where people need knowledge to be productive and contributive, you would not ask somebody to close their eyes, to shut their computer, to close their books, and then regurgitate something that had been memorized on paper that cannot produce much value in reality. I don't believe in that. People must be proud of knowledge, and knowledge must work for us. Knowledge must contribute to the betterment of humanity and development. Knowledge should not just be hoarded up in one person's head, only to regurgitate and get a piece of paper called a certificate. At the end of the day, I don't believe in that.
Wow.
So I also believe that the system of education that we have, the kind of assessment we have, is flawed in a number of ways to the extent that it cuts a lot of people out.
Right.
I mean, you can imagine, very, very humbly, the world would have missed out on my contribution because a flawed examination system called an A-level, which could not measure my kind of intelligence, because in fact, I'm an outlier, I believe so.
Right.
My kind of intelligence was beating the A-level system. They couldn't measure it properly. So the A-level said, well, by some whatever we measured, because you do not fit in the normal, we think that you can't enter the university.
Yes.
Who said so?
Who said so?
Who said so? But thankfully, I entered the university and proved that the system was faulty. So you can imagine how many Goski Alabis would have been cut out of higher education just because of a faulty examination system, a flawed examination system.
Wow.
This is why I felt that we needed to have an open university that removes the barriers to higher education so that people who had been blocked from accessing higher education can have access to it. I feel that education or knowledge or learning takes place everywhere, not only in the classroom.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how I acquired my knowledge, you know?
Yeah.
You should be able to measure that knowledge and then allow me to progress with it if I want to progress. Why do you say we should all sit in a trotro or a bus to Kumasi when some people can fly and some people can go by train? Why do you tell me that?
Or can drive there themselves.
Some can drive there themselves. Perfect. And then you tell me that you need a driver. You need a mate. You need to sit in the trotro and we need to take you to Kumasi. No way. I think it's very wrong. The kind of things, artificial conditions we have created to tie people up. And when I see people who are so guarded of those conditionalities, I pity them. You know why? Because sometimes their sight is not as far and broad.
Indeed.
And because they themselves...
And now look, we have AI.
We have AI. And that's what is making it worse. You know, we have AI. So I am an advocate, and that's what the Open University does. It removes all the barriers. And it says, we as a country should be able to recognize prior learning, no matter how that learning took place. Whether it took place on the job, or you discovered it by chance, or you kind of went in for short training courses, it doesn't matter. Once you have that knowledge, you should be allowed to enter the university.
Wow. So how long have you been that's the Lawe college, right? University college. So how long have you been running the...
So we started in 2016. We rolled out our first programs in 2017. We have graduated 4 cohorts already of masters and undergraduate people. And there are a few people, I mean some prominent people who actually graduated from our university.
Please, I'm coming.
Please.
I'm coming to enroll. Definitely, I'm coming to enroll. That's amazing. You just listen, let me take you back. How was growing up for you?
So growing up, I had a checkered life. So my father was educogenic. He was a university graduate. He was an engineer. Came from a royal family. My grandfather was called Niwang.
Niwang,
and so, I mean, most of the guys...
From which part of her?
Nungwa.
Nungwa.
I mean, and the Niwang family was quite well-to-do. And so that is my father. So he was quite, you know, elitist.
Yeah.
My siblings drove in cars to school. They lived in big bungalows, you know, story buildings. For some interesting reason, I lived with my grandparents, my maternal grandparents. They were not rich. They were settlers. My grandmother was a chopper operator and my grandfather was an artisanal goldsmith. So I usually blew the school to warm the furnace where we would be melting the gold and all of that. Now, occasionally, whenever we vacate, I would go visit my siblings. So we would all be in cars and, you know. So I'll leave the elitist life and then come back to the community where we didn't have a place of convenience.
Still at Nungwa?
Yes, at Nungwa. My family were not living in Nungwa. They lived in Tema.
Tema, okay.
At the time.
At the time, okay.
And then, so Nungwa, we didn't have a place of convenience. We didn't have our own bathhouse. You know, you need to wake up early and go throw away the garbage and come back. You need to go to the public bathhouse and fetch water and bath and come back. You need to look for your own place of convenience. I walked barefoot to school from the center of Teshi, from the center of Nungwa Kotuwe here, to Teshi Estes Preparatory School at the Teshi Zongo there. So that was my early years. At a point in time, my father took me to join them in Kumasi. So I also got to have a feel of state experimental for a year.
Okay.
And then I was taken to Inshaisu Preparatory for another year. But I missed my grandparents.
Nungwa girl.
Nungwa girl.
Nungwa girl.
Proudly Nungwa.
The little girl from Nungwa.
Yes. So I came back.
Kote here.
So I came back there and joined my grandparents for a short time anyway. Yeah. So when I had to go to secondary school, I didn't get my first choice. That was Wesley Girls. Not my second, Infancyman, and not my third.
Oh, you went to Infancyman. I thought you were going to say you came to Infancyman.
So I went to Ada Secondary School. And then my father was out of the country. When he came, he moved me to Nungwa Secondary School immediately. So I did my O-level at Nungwa Secondary School. And I'm very happy that I did, because I think all that experience gave me a different perspective. You know, sometimes when people are in certain situations, they say, I know how it feels. They really don't know how it feels. They only imagine how it feels. But I have been there, so I knew how it felt. And I have been in the elitist family where you have decanters, you know, on some table in the corner with whiskey and wine and all that. And I have been where people are even struggling to put food on the table in a day.
How many kids do you have?
Two.
A boy and a girl?
Yes.
Or a boy and a girl?
Yes.
Oh, you are blessed.
Thank you.
But you have such a busy life. How have you been able to have that bond with them, your kids? Because you're always almost out as a mother.
Yes. I think it's the support and understanding I received from them and my husband. I mean, there were days they hit my laptop. There were days they would say, Mommy, please, you don't have to do this. You don't have to go. You know, we need to be together as a family. And when they say that, no matter what it is, I won't go. But they've been quite understanding, and by God's grace, they are both lawyers at the moment.
Wow.
Yes, both of them are lawyers from the UK.
Did you tell them to do the law, or they chose?
Okay, so one of them chose, to do the law.
Right.
And then the second person, the father said he should do law as well. There was a time, maybe a few years back, maybe 3 or 4 years back, I got up one day and I said, well, see, I'm enrolling. I want to enroll in LAWA. We have a collaboration with OUT, the Open University of Tanzania. So I'm enrolling to start law. Then one day, they marched to the room and they said, Abba, Mami, won't you live small for us? What will we do? This small law that we are doing to you.
Want to do?
So, but I thought that was a joke. And when I thought about it, I said, oh, yes. I mean, sometimes we don't realize how much pressure we're putting on the children. But that day, I realized that we were putting unknown pressure on them. So I learned from there to take it easy and allow them to have their space.
Amazing. I'm just, you know, we had to wrap up now, but I want you to look into the camera and speak to a younger lady watching you, or even a woman of a certain age, even in their 40s, who feels that she couldn't live her dreams. She couldn't achieve because, one, she's afraid. Two, of, you know, the insult and name calling, and sometimes she feels she's too old, you know, to live her dream, and what it takes to really live a fulfilled life.
Yeah. Thank you very much, listeners. It's always an honor for me, but I just want you to know it's never too late in life. No matter where you are in life, you can always pick up and do great things. At a point in time, I could not enter university with my colleagues, but I was very, very confident that when I keep pushing, I would get there. Failure is only a window and a stepping stone for us to greater heights. Do not see your failure as the end of life. Get up wherever you are. Make up your mind and start making the move. When you wish for something without action, it is wishful thinking. But true vision comes. It comes, and it comes through for people who see it, they wish for it, and they take the right action. Make that move today. Make that step. And if it is for education, LAWA University College is there for you. We recognize whatever you know at any point in time. This is your time to shine.
This is your time to shine. Start. How can people contact LAWA?
Okay, so LAWA, you can contact us when you visit www.laweh.edu.gh. You would find us there.
And we'll put it on the screen as well. So thank you so much,
I should be
Prof.
thanking you.
This has been amazing.
Thank you too.
This, I know, will be one of those that people will keep watching and sharing and learning from it.
You're doing so much for humanity.
Thank you.
And you don't know how many tears you wipe each time you appear on your program. People look up to you. And as you help them to take away the tears from their faces, may the good Lord continue to strengthen you and enlarge in your cause for humanity.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you. And our regards to the Prof.
Yes, I will tell.
Thank you. I'll be back with a bit of me, but once again, thank you to Venup Mineral Water, Bigo Drinks, All Cuisine, House of Food. Thank you so much. Yep Cleaning Services, Juice Time, 100% fruit juices. And of course, thank you to Mrs. Oforipoko and the family. This has been TSP with Gifty Auntie, and of course, the amazing, the phenomenal Professor Goski Alabi. I'll be back. Do you say that you've been able to recover from some of the things that, some of the really painful things that were thrown at you? Have you been able to recover from it? Have you healed?
No, it's like losing a loved one. There's parts of me that I feel I lost. You never truly completely heal, but you learn to cope and to deal with it. And for women, especially as you would know, it's a bit more complicated because, and in my case, there were attacks on my parents, there were attacks on my identity, there were attacks on my husband, there were attacks on my marriage, there were attacks on my children. So as much as you're trying to heal, you're also trying to carry other people and support them in their healing, my siblings. So it was very invasive. One of the things I think people need to learn beyond emotional intelligence is emotional mastery.
Emotional
Mastery. It's really important. You must learn some level of control. You do not react to everything. Some people just tend to overreact. It's lack of emotional mastery. It's not everything I react to. I'm just that way.
Is this something you recommend for every woman to have multiple streams of income?
There were four streams in the Garden of Eden.
There were
4 streams.
In the Garden of Eden?
Yes.
Take me there.
4 rivers.
4 rivers?
You shouldn't depend on one source.
Indeed, no seed is a bad seed. It doesn't matter how you start. It doesn't matter the challenges that come your way. It doesn't matter the obstacles that you have to come. What matters is what you're willing to do, what you're willing to sacrifice. It takes a woman of boldness, of conviction, of determination, of focus to really make it. Listen, it's never too late. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's never too late to live your dream. You failed the exams, failed marriage, didn't have a child, not married. I mean, no matter what it is, sweet sister, sweet mama, don't give up on yourself. There's so much embedded in you. There's so much that you've been blessed with. What's in your hands at every given time? Work with it. I'm a woman with super crazy faith in God. I know God has got me covered, but I know He's giving us wisdom to use whatever He's given. Wisdom to overcome the obstacle. Wisdom to reinvent myself. Wisdom to understand that I can try again. If it doesn't work, I can try something else. Believe in yourself, woman. You can do this. You can do this. Forget about the scars. There will be stars very soon. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.